Rashidale, I hope all of you are doing well and also trying to study more whenever you have time to revise what you have studied and try to understand the meaning, importance of these teachings, and how to apply those Antidote's beautiful teachings on different aspects, purifications of different obscurations. So it's always advisable. One must not forget that to apply all these beautiful instructions in your day-to-day life and to be, engaged in the Dharma, even though whatever activities you are doing, be engaged with the instructions of the Dharma. Be mindful of these beautiful instructions and apply them into your practical life. This is how the Dharma will be benefiting you. This is how you can progress in the path of the Dharma. So this is a wonderful thing to do. So yesterday we spoke about the importance of taking refuge in the three jewels. What are the object of your refuge and why it is important to, go refuge into three jewels, and what are the beneficial effects of taking refuge, and then how to take refuge, what are the ceremony of taking refuge and all. So today we are going to study about bodhicitta, the most important chapter of this text. Bodhicitta is always very precious and most important chapter of all instructions in all Buddhist teachings, because it is the genuine heart or genuine wish to achieve enlightenment, achieve perfect and supreme enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So you have two objectives here. You want to achieve enlightenment, that's one object. And the second is for the benefit of sentient beings. So benefiting sentient beings and attainment of enlightenment these are the two objectives of this bodhicitta. So which will benefit yourself and others. So therefore this topic is very special. And we all know bodhicitta is something that is not new to us. Bodhicitta is familiar word. And what does this bodhi and citta in Sanskrit means? Bodhi meaning awakened one or the enlightened one. And citta means the heart, awakened heart or enlightened heart. Or you can also call this the precious heart that is always concerned for the benefit of others, and at the same time not only having concern and wish to benefit others, but also this has the ability to benefit others, since it has the wisdom as well. So since it has already pacified all the obscurations and then completed all the accumulations of good merits and promoted wisdom, so it has the capacity to benefit others. So it's not like our type of bodhicitta. That we may have the genuine wish to benefit others, but we don't have the ability to do so, because we are now ordinary Dharma practitioners. But what does the bodhicitta means? It is actually the enlightened mind of the Buddha or Dharmakaya. That's the ultimate bodhicitta. So in order to obtain this kind of ultimate bodhicitta, you need to rely upon relative bodhicitta. So that is why it can be categorized into two: ultimate bodhicitta and relative bodhicitta. The very purpose of showing relative bodhicitta is in order to actualize the ultimate bodhicitta. So relative bodhicitta is the method to achieve the ultimate bodhicitta. So what we now have to practice is, in order to, our target should be attainment of ultimate bodhicitta, that is Buddhahood or enlightenment. Then in order to do so, we need to rely upon some method, and that is the cultivations of relative bodhicitta. So we're trying to understand more of this. So this chapter actually is the cultivations of bodhicitta, but before that we understood yesterday that in order to cultivate bodhicitta we must have some foundation, right foundation in order to cultivate bodhicitta. So we talk about different type of foundation. One is being a family of Mahayana, which simply means that you need to have at least kind of concern for the well-being of others. At least you need to have compassion to want to free the suffering of others. You at least this loving kindness, wanting to see sentient beings happy. So that is belonging to my family. Then you need to have the taking refuge in three jewels. This is where you really enters into the gate of the Dharma. The reason why we need to take refuge vows is because we don't know how to, and those three jewels are the most perfect one who can guide us. Then we have this taken one of the 7 Patimokkha vows. So we call ourselves Buddhist practitioners. Then we must, at least have one kind of 7 Patimokkha vows. If you are lay practitioners, you have choice of taking lay vows, and if you are monastic, you have the monastic vows. So having said that, these are the good foundation for cultivations of bodhicitta. So next is the practice of really understanding cultivations of bodhicitta and what is the essence of cultivations of bodhicitta, how many different types of bodhicittas are mentioned there, what are the method of applying bodhicitta or taking bodhicitta vows, and so on and so forth, beneficial effects of bodhicitta, what are the trainings of bodhicitta. So there are many different subtopics that we understood before a few days back. So today we are trying to understand the essence or the real cultivations of bodhicitta. So this is chapter 9. So before we do so, we recite refuge prayers and try to generate bodhicitta for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sangye Jodan Zoge Jonam La Jangjo Bardo Dani Gap Sonche Dagi Jin So Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjir Sangye Dobarsho. Sangye Jodan Zoge Jonam La Jangjo Bardo Dani Gap Sonche Dagi Jin So Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjir Sangye Dobarsho. Sangye Jodan Zoge Jonam La Jangjo Bardo Dani Gap Sonche Dagi Jin So Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjir Sangye Dobarsho. Semjen tamje dewa dan dewe gyo dan denpa gyo je donga dan donga yin gyo dan dewa gyo je donga mebe dewa denpa dan me dewa gyo je ngiren ja dan yin dan dewe dan yon chenpo la nepa gyo je semjen tamje dewa dan dewe gyo dan denpa gyo je donga dan donga yin gyo dan dewa gyo je donga mebe dewa denpa dan me dewa gyo je ngiren ja dan yin dan dewe dan yon chenpo la nepa gyo je Semje namje dewa nan dewe gyo nan denpa gyo je donga nan donga yin gyo dan dewa gyo je donga mebe dewa denpa dan me dewa gyo je ngiren ja dan yin dan dewe dan yon chenpo la nepa gyo je Balin Zage Lama Rinpoche Dagi Chiwre Pemi Denshu La Kadin Chenpe Gwane Je Songte Uzon Do Gye Do Zando. Okay, so we try to understand cultivations of bodhicitta, chapter 9. First, the second topic of the cultivations of bodhicitta. The first topic was foundation. So we understood what are the foundation needed, necessary for cultivations of bodhicitta. And second point is the essence of bodhicitta. What does bodhicitta really mean? So here GAMPOPA says the essence of cultivations of bodhicitta is the desire or the wish to achieve perfect and complete enlightenment for the other's benefit. So what does that mean? That means that the bodhicitta is the genuine wish to attain complete and perfected Buddhahood. Here, when you hear the word complete and perfected Buddhahood, that makes very clear that the nirvana or arhatship is not the perfected Buddhahood yet. So those who are practicing in the path of Dharma and has attained some realizations and witnessing the results of Arhat, even though they are, they have these realizations of cessations of suffering, but they are not yet the complete and perfect Buddhahood. So they are not Buddha yet. So therefore, these two words here are desired to achieve perfect and complete enlightenment. That means the Buddhahood, the most superior attainment of ever. this is the genuine wish to attain this kind of result. And for whom then? For the benefit of other sentient beings. So this is very important. If it's just for yourself, then you will not call Buddha. Oh, sorry, you will not call bodhisattvas, and that kind of wish wouldn't be bodhicitta. But here, when you have this genuine wish to attain perfect and complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, then it is called bodhicitta, because it has no kind of self-centered attitude there. It is, meant and dedicated, for the benefit of all sentient beings. Whatever your accumulations would be, whatever the attainment you will experience, that is meant, that is dedicated, that is for the service of all sentient beings, to bring them into the path of liberation and then free them from the suffering of samsara. So this is your genuine and unshakable genuine wish or desire. So that's the bodhicitta. And the second is the classifications of bodhicitta. So here, actually, as I mentioned earlier, there are two bodhicitta. One is the ultimate bodhicitta, that is the realizations of emptiness, true nature of things, seeing the ultimate nature of all phenomena. Then in order to actualize that, we need to rely upon the method, that is the second type of bodhicitta, which is known as relative bodhicitta. But in this text, GAMPOPA also wants to mention more different types of bodhicitta. So therefore he says here, there are three classifications within the subject of cultivation, supreme enlightenment or ultimate attainment. So he says there are three different types, types of bodhicitta: simile, demarcation, and primary characteristic. So what does this mean? This means that there are different types of bodhicitta through understanding different similes. So here GAMPOPA has given so many different types of examples which are very similar to the bodhicitta itself, different types of bodhicitta. So someone who first gave rise to bodhicitta, aspiration bodhicitta, just like us, ordinary being, someone who really first enters into the gate of the Dhamma and especially enters into the Mahayana vehicle, that individual will give rise to aspiration bodhicitta, isn't it? So from that beginning up to the attainment of enlightenment, there are different types of bodhicitta, different levels of bodhicitta, different progress or class of bodhicitta. So that is why they are these are presented through different types of similar examples. That's why it's called simile. So there are 22 bodhicittas, similes bodhicitta, which are really similar meaning with the bodhicitta itself, the different types of bodhicitta. So you can call it 22 types of bodhicitta from beginning, entering into the gate of the Mahayana vehicle up to the attainment of enlightenment. So there are different types of bodhicitta. So we'll talk later more in detail. Then we have demarcations of bodhicitta. What does that mean? That means that whenever you reach some level, there's different types of bodhicitta as well. Roughly speaking, for example, when you enter the gate of the Dhamma and when you try to practice the Dhamma by applying the 5 paths: path of accumulations of merit, path of application or joining, path of seeing, path of meditation, and finally path of no more learning. So these are the 5 different paths that one should really enter and follow, and then by following on that path, one will be able to reach the final destination, that is the perfect and complete enlightenment. So within that different path, so there's some demarcation. So if you reach first or second path, what type of generally what type of bodhicitta will be labeled as, and then certain level of path of seeing, what kind of bodhicitta will be taking place, and what is the labeling of that bodhicitta, and so on and so forth. So that's a demarcation. Then we have primary characteristic of bodhicitta. So classifications of bodhicitta through the primary characteristics. So because of different characteristics, there are different bodhicittas. So first, the simile. First, bodhicitta was classified through examples ranging from ordinary beings like us who really, first enter into the Mahayana vehicle and give rise to aspiration bodhicitta, up to the Buddhahood or attainment of perfect complete Buddhahood. And these similes are given by Arya Maitreya in the Ornament of Clear Realizations. So what are those 22 types of bodhicitta? The simile of those 22 types of bodhicitta, here it mentions. So that's all the similes: earth, gold, moon, fire, treasure, jewel mine, ocean, vajra, mountain, medicine, spiritual master, wish fulfilling jewel, sun, melody, sound, king, treasury, highway, transportation, well, elegant sound, river, and cloud. Thus, these are the 22 similes. So in order to understand these similes with the different types of bodhicitta, so we try to understand this in deeper, in detail, more in detail. So I've made small note here. So I'll just read this note. So in order to make you understand more clear, in order to make it more simple, in other words. So there are 22 different types of bodhicitta with these 22 similes. So the first one is like earth-like bodhicitta, earth-like bodhicitta, which is known as earnest desire to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's the aspiration bodhicitta, the one who enters into the Mahayana vehicle. That individual will give rise to this kind of wish, to earnest wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And this kind of bodhicitta is, the simile of this kind of bodhicitta is earth. And why? Because if you have that kind of bodhicitta, earnest, desire to attain enlightenment for the benefit of others, then it is the base for all the virtuous things to grow afterwards, isn't it? If you don't have aspiration bodhicitta, there's no way you'll be able to give rise to action bodhicitta and practice all these 6 paramitas or 10 paramitas, so on and so forth. So that is, it is like earth. If you have earth, earth is the basis for all the crops, to grow. So likewise, the similar meaning of earth and earnest desire to attain bodhicitta for the benefit of earnest wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Number one. Number two is like the gold-like bodhicitta. What does that mean? Gold, the simile here is the gold. And the reason is gold never changes its color, right? The real gold, not the fake one. The real gold will never change its color. Likewise, the genuine intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of sentient beings will remain from beginning up to enlightenment state of mind. So it will never change. Your intention will never change. You will be very, confident in that intention. So that is why it is like gold, which never changes its color. Then third type of bodhicitta is like the simile for the third kind of bodhicitta is moon-like bodhicitta. And what is the similar to this is the moon from the first day, new moon, up to the full moon. Every day the size of moon increases, right? That's why waxing moon. So likewise here, altruistic thought of achievement of enlightenment for the benefit of sentient beings, this will increase day by day with your practice, with faith and devotion, with really understanding the instructions in more deeper and more reasonable way. So this is how you develop your altruistic thoughts in the practice of the Dharma. So the simile is the moon. 3. Number 4, the fourth type of simile here is mentioned fire-like bodhicitta. And what is this? Is the earnest application. Not only the wish, now really putting into application, really joining the path of the Dharma. So earnest application, and that has the power. Now really discipline, you are being involved in not only wishing for the benefit of others, but you are starting to implement those good cause for the benefit of for the benefit of sentient beings, in order to bring sentient beings into the nirvana or perfect enlightenment. So that is like fire, and the reason is fire burns. Fire, the act of fire is to burn something. Likewise here, if you really apply the antidote, then it is like it burns away all the obscurations in your path. It will minimize your negative applications and emotions slowly, one by one. Fifth, the fifth simile is the treasure, and that is the what is the bodhicitta here is the possessing generosity. Now since you have entered into the action bodhicitta, you are trying to implement those costs, right? Then the first of 6 paramita or 10 paramita is the generosity. So when you practice generosity, it's like treasure, because what is the having treasure is to benefit, right? Treasure, if you have treasure, all the jewels and everything in the storehouse of all this different types of treasure, then it will benefit you. It will bring you happiness, temporary happiness, to fulfill your wishes. It can feed your stomach, it can clothe you and have better shelter, all this kind of things. So likewise, generosity will satisfy all sentient beings. It's like treasure, because by practicing generosity, you are benefiting others, in a very practical manner. So there is the fifth type of generosity, bodhicitta, which is known as treasure-like bodhicitta. Then we have sixth one is jewel mind-like bodhicitta, and that is practicing of the moral ethic, possessing moral ethic, and this is like jewel mind. Why is so? Because this is the source of all the precious qualities. So once you have applied, once you try to remain in discipline, when you apply moral ethic, then you are trying to protect yourself from falling into lower realms, or falling into implementing or committing the negative cause. So this is how you protect, and it will have it is the source of all the precious quality to develop, since you have already blocked your act of body, speech, and mind from involving in non-virtuous act. And once you block or avoids or refrains from non-virtuous act, then obviously on the other side, positive will take place. So this is why it is known as the jewel mind-like bodhicitta. Then seventh bodhicitta is ocean-like bodhicitta, which means the practice of patience. So the sixth paramita, the third paramita is from the 6 or 10 paramita, the third paramita is patience. So when you practice patience, what happens is you are very deep, you're not disturbed by people's, different act, different sound, different action. So since you are practicing patience with good reason why, and then you'll be able to, remain in that kind of deepness. You don't react. And then this is how you practice. So that's why it's like more like ocean, which is very deep. Ocean cannot be disturbed by some small string of water coming into, or river water coming into ocean. So once this disturbing rivers and stream water enters into ocean, they will also become so calm and peaceful because of the power of ocean's deep, deep sea. So this is like the ocean-like bodhicitta, the seventh one. Then the eighth one is the Vajra-like bodhicitta. Again, more similar meaning of not unshakable, not moving. So that is the possessing the perseverance or the diligence. So when you're very diligent, you are very solid, you always continue your practice. Either it is to practice generosity, or keeping your moral ethics, or practicing your patience, or practicing your loving kindness and compassion. Whatever the practice is, if you have perseverance, with joyfulness, then it's not forced. Someone's not forcing you. You don't need to wait for ring the bell, hear the ring sound of the bell, that you have to attend class or do pujas, or you have to depend on alarm. But it will come naturally, a joyful act of virtuous, activities, joyfulness in the virtuous activity. So it is like more solid continuity, like Vajra, that cannot be moved, very stable, strong, and cannot be disturbed by others. Then we have this 9th type of bodhicitta that's known as Mount Meru-like bodhicitta, which is another form of very stable, unshakable. And here, the meaning of the bodhicitta is the samadhi or meditative concentration. So after possessing meditation concentration, what happens is you have become so strong internally, then no any kind of thought, conceptual thought can disturb your peace of mind. Like just like Mount Meru. Mount Meru is so stable and strong. No, even the storms or wind, they cannot disturb. They cannot shake or move Mount Meru. It's very strong and stable. Likewise, your concentration is very strong and stable. So this is like Mount Meru-like bodhicitta. Then we have this medicine-like bodhicitta. The 10th is the medicine-like bodhicitta. And the meaning of that is the having possessing of the discriminating wisdom, or the 6th paramita. When you know the true nature of things, this is like, it can heal your sufferings. Because once you know the true nature of all the phenomena as emptiness nature, then you don't behold, you don't hold anything. You can release from attachment, and once you release from attachment, you have nothing to attach to, and you are not held by anything, and you are more free, and you can if anything happens to you, you don't really care much. If the good things comes around you, you're not overwhelmed. If bad things comes around you, you're not overwhelmed. You're more stable. You are more in the equanimity state of mind. Likewise, and because of that reason, all the sufferings and pains, they are all healed naturally by understanding the true nature, by having this kind of discriminating wisdom. So it is like medicine. Medicine, the very act, purpose of medicine is to heal pain, right? Then the 11th is the spiritual master-like bodhicitta. The meaning here is practicing the 7th paramita. So here we talk about 10 paramita. So the 7th paramita is skillful means. Practicing skillful means, and that's like spiritual master, because spiritual masters are always very skilled in mean of teaching their students, trying to bring their students' conduct from bad into good conduct, transforming their students' bad behavior into good behavior. In order to do so, the spiritual master have lots of skillful means of doing so. Try to bring sentient beings to the Dharma. Try to bring sentient beings, to the reality of knowing the impermanence nature, suffering nature, and so forth. So he or she should have skillful means in doing so. Otherwise, because of our habitual tendency, especially our negative habitual tendency, our propensities of our past karma, our negative influences, it's very hard to, even think of positiveness sometimes these days, because we are all filled up with all the non-virtuous act, negative thoughts, everything is more like fixed there. So to benefit these sentient beings, you need to have skill in means, or skillful means to do so, in order to satisfy them with the Dharma, in order to quell their sufferings. So this is like spiritual master, never forsaking sentient beings. So with your skillful means in the practice, then you never forsake sentient beings, because how hard it is, but you will always have some different options. Sometimes what happens is teachers, they lose temper, right? They try to teach once, but students are so stupid, they don't understand. They teach twice, try to teach twice, and third time they give up and they get angry, and they sometimes beat the students, But here, spiritual master, they have lots of skillful means, in order to present them, in order to bring their attention to. So it's like having that kind of skillful in means, you'll never forsake sentient beings. You'll never forsake your students. You will even have more stronger compassion towards those kind of students who are not so smart as compared with other students, so to speak. Then the 12th is the wish fulfilling jewel-like bodhicitta, and that is the 8th paramita, aspiration prayers. And with your aspiration prayers for the benefit of sentient beings, it's like more like wish fulfilling too, because it accomplishes all the wishes. Since you are, now have reached some level of realization, so it's their aspiration prayer and our aspiration prayer are not so same, not the same. Our aspiration prayer is the normal aspiration prayer because we have not realized any kind of realization yet. But the bodhisattvas who are practicing the eighth paramita, their aspirations are being fulfilled. So therefore, it is like wish fulfilling too. Then the 13th is the simile of 13 is the sun-like bodhicitta. And the meaning of that is the strength, the practice of the ninth paramita, strength paramita. And what does that mean? That means that because of having that strength or power, you can fully repens, you can fully satisfy your trainees or your students. Just like sun has the power to ripen fruits, vegetables, and all. Then we have this 14th bodhicitta, which is known as melodious sound bodhicitta, which is the practice of the 10th paramita, primordial wisdom. So once you have primordial wisdom, then you can give teachings. After realizations of that primordial wisdom, you can give teachings to so many beings at the same time. So like the melodious sound of Dharma, So this is known as the melodious sound like bodhicitta, the 14th. Then the 15th is the king-like bodhicitta. And what is the meaning of that? That is the having clairvoyance or having special extraordinary sense faculty in order to read people's minds, see distance, far distance, hear things from far distance. And when you have this realization, you can benefit more sentient beings, just like king. Ordinary people cannot benefit many people. But the king, with his authority, power, and people, and lots of retinues under him, there's a change of command. And when he says something, things will get done more quickly, and things can satisfy more sentient beings. Likewise here, when you have these realizations of clairvoyance, you'll be able to read people's mind. You'll be able to see who needs what. So you try to fulfill and satisfy all sentient beings according to their needs and will and wish. So this is the realization and known as the clairvoyance bodhicitta. Then we have the 16th treasury-like bodhicitta, and that is the practice of merit and wisdom together. So when you have this merit and wisdom practice together, then you have you can benefit, you can actually accumulate lots of merit, benefit more people with your merit and wisdom together. So if you have only merit without wisdom, you cannot benefit more. If you only have wisdom but no merit, then again it's just a wisdom but not practical. So if once you have both merit and wisdom together, then you have both tools are available, and you'll be able to benefit more beings. It's like storehouse of many virtuous accumulations. Then the 17th type of bodhicitta is like highway-like bodhicitta. And what does that mean? That means that practicing the different types of which is known as 37 different branches of enlightenment, practicing different types of 37 different types of practice of enlightenment. Sometimes it's translated as the 37 bodhi factors or 37 factors of enlightenment. And by that practice, then one can, noble one can follow this highway of having different branches of enlightenment. The varieties of practice. It's like highway, which you will bring. After following that highway, it will, it will bring you wherever you want to go. After following that highway, and you can reach any kind of destination with that help of that highway, assistant of that highway. So likewise here, when the bodhisattvas practice, slowly, gradually, they will be able to practice all these beautiful branches of enlightenment. So there are 37 factors of enlightenment, and they can be known as the roughly the 4 applications of mindfulness, 4 genuine restraints, 4 miraculous powers, 5 powers, 5 strengths, 7 elements of enlightenment, and finally noble eightfold path. So these are known as 37 Buddha factors, or 37 factors of the enlightenment. Then 18th is like conveyance or transportation, like bodhicitta. That is the practice of compassion and insight. So when you have this compassion insight, one can smoothly process to the path of enlightenment without falling either samsara or nirvana. So it is a middle way approach towards the enlightenment state of mind. With having compassion, if we have compassion, you will not stay in nirvana. With your insight, you will not stay in samsara. So with having these combinations of insight and wisdom, or compassion and insight, then you will not fall in either side of samsara or nirvana, but you keep going, keep moving towards the perfect and complete enlightenment. That's why it's known as the transportation like bodhicitta. Then the 19th is water of well like bodhicitta, and that is the recollections and competence in the Dharma. So when you have these two qualities, recollections of all the teachings that you have studied, practiced, and competence, that you have experienced, that you have examined that with your all the intelligence, wisdoms, and you have reached in the competence level. So now there is no doubt when you teach the Dharma to the sentient beings, you have no doubt at all. You can teach them with 100% full competence because of the power of your recollections, of your study and practice. So this is like the great transportation. Then we have the 19th one. So this is like the water of well. So water of well never exhaust. It will remain there longer time than the water from the tap. So, or the spring water. So water in the well has the more deeper sense of containment. Likewise, when you have recollections and competence in the Dharma, in your practice, then you'll be able to benefit more beings without exhaustions of your knowledge and wisdom. Then the 20th is the elegant sound like bodhicitta, and that is the knowledge of the having 4 seals of the Dharma. So 4 seals of the Dharma are like, when you teach the students, you can teach the 4 seals of the Dharma is like elegant sound, proclaiming that all the composite things are impermanence, all the defiling things are suffering, all the phenomena are empty and selflessness, and nirvana is peace. So these 4 seals of the Dharma. So when you proclaim these 4 seals of Dharma, it's like elegant sound. It can inspire sentient beings to bring into nirvana or liberation. So because of this teaching, you are able to bring attention of the students, and then you can able to direct them to nirvana. Then 21st is like current of river like bodhicitta, and the meaning of that is the path of one direction. So bodhicitta which is known as path of one direction, and that is like benefiting beings without being diverted from its path. The current of river, it will follow until it reaches to the ocean. So ocean is like our final destination. So it's like path of one direction. That is the path of Mahayana vehicle, which will direct us to the final destinations of ultimate and complete enlightenment. Then last, finally, the 22nd bodhicitta is like cloud-like bodhicitta. So here you are enlightened already. So that is like dharmakaya, realizations of dharmakaya. So when you realize dharmakaya, it's like cloud-like bodhicitta. So cloud remains in the sky, and then it will form water and then satisfy many sentient beings, with their vegetation. Likewise, when you realize this dharmakaya, then you remain in the heaven of Tushita, and from there you manifest into Nirmanakaya or Sambhogakaya form of Buddha in order to benefit Bodhisattvas through Sambhogakaya form and ordinary beings through Nirmanakaya form. And in the Nirmana form of beneficial, he manifests in different types, not only human, but different types of animal. It can be animal or whatever, birds, in order to benefit different sentient beings, in order to bring them into the path of liberation. So this is like cloud-like bodhicitta, which is the actualizations of Dharmakaya, like cloud living in the Tushita heaven and manifest, in order to benefit different beings. So these are known as 22 types of simile, which is known as bodhicitta. So if you want to study them more in detail, you can find these 22 similes or 22 bodhicittas. If you Google them, you will be able to find them. Okay. For now, it's just the introductory of those 22 similes bodhicitta. The next is demarcation. There, demarcations of bodhicitta. There are 4 classes of demarcation. The cultivations of bodhicitta with interest, that is like aspiration bodhicitta. Then cultivations of bodhicitta with altruistic thoughts, like applying bodhicitta, maybe action bodhicitta. Then we have cultivations of bodhicitta of in full maturation, then actualizing the result. That will be bodhisattva level. And then finally cultivations of the bodhicitta with removed veils or remote obscurations, completely and perfectly remove all the obscurations, that is Buddhahood. So these 4 are the demarcations of bodhicitta. The first one is the level of interested behavior. That means the path of accumulation merit and path of joining. The second one extends from the first to 7 bhumi. That means these belong to path of seeing and half part of joining, meditation. Then the third one ranges from 8 to 10 bhumi, 8, 9, 10 bhumi. That is path of maturation, the bodhicitta of maturation, full maturation. Then finally, fourth one is the level of Buddhahood, which is completely free from all the obscurations, or which has removed all the veils. So therefore, it is labeled as Buddhahood. So this is the demarcations of bodhicitta. Then the most important thing, the primary characteristic of bodhicitta. What is that? That is, there are 2 different classifications of primary characteristic of bodhicitta: ultimate bodhicitta and relative bodhicitta, that I spoke earlier. So what is ultimate bodhicitta? Ultimate bodhicitta is actually actualizing the ultimate truth, or seeing the true nature of phenomena, or actualizing emptiness. So here it says, it is pervading emptiness endowed with the essence of compassion. Ultimate bodhicitta is actualizing the dharmakaya, or emptiness, and that emptiness is the source for your compassion, endowed with the essence of compassion. So what does this mean? This means that after actualizing the emptiness nature of phenomena, spontaneously you will give rise compassion. You will have compassion towards all those beings who are still confused, who are still committing non-virtuous act, who still do not know the true nature of things. So this is why it's like endowed with the essence of compassion. Clear, which is very clear, no confusion, which is free from ignorance, unmoving, is always very stable, and free from all the elaborations, good, bad, all these things, or free from all these perceptions. So that is why it says here, the sutra clarifications of Thought Sutra says, the mind of ultimate enlightenment is beyond world, free from all the elaborations, supremely pure, subject to the ultimate, stinless, unmoving, very clear, like the continuity of lamp, shelter from the wind. So like this kind of ultimate bodhicitta is actualizing the Dharmakaya, or the emptiness nature of all phenomena. So this is hard. We cannot do this now, right? So in order to actualize that kind of ultimate bodhicitta, we need to practice relative bodhicitta, which is the second type of classification of bodhicitta here. So what is relative bodhicitta? The same sutra says, relative bodhicitta vows to liberate all sentient beings from suffering through compassion. So relative bodhicitta is having a wish to liberate all sentient beings from suffering through compassion. So here we have some activity to do, right? We can think, we can practice, we can practice generosity, we can practice moral ethic. So we still do not know the true nature of phenomena, the emptiness nature of phenomena yet, but we are on the process. We are on the path towards that destination. So here it says again, ultimate bodhicitta is obtained through realizations of dharmata, while the relative bodhicitta is obtained through ritual ceremony. So ultimate bodhicitta you need to realize through understanding of true nature, right? Dharmata. But relative bodhicitta you can receive through ceremony. You can receive this from your spiritual master. You can take relative bodhicitta vows. Some of you old Buddhist practitioner, you may have taken bodhisattva vows from our root guru, Khenpo Thangol Rinpoche, many times. So this is something that we can obtain through ritual ceremony. So within the relative bodhicitta, there are two, again, subcategory. Aspiration bodhicitta and engage or action bodhicitta. So these are the two different types of relative bodhicitta. So we need to know what does aspiration bodhicitta means and what does action bodhicitta means. Here it says, there's a quote from the Contract of Bodhisattva. It says, in brief, bodhicitta should be understood to be of two types. The relative bodhicitta, the mind that aspires to awaken, and the mind that ventures to do so. So this is very good, very easy to remember. The mind that admires to awaken or admires to achieve enlightenment, and the mind, second type of mind, that ventures to do so. So first one is aspiration bodhicitta, just having wish to attain enlightenment, and second one is not having just wish but really venture, really applying the cause for that. So aspiration bodhicitta is the one who admires the awakened one to awaken, and the action bodhicitta is to the mind that ventures to do so, to the cause for that, apply the cause for that. There are many different views of the difference between this aspiration bodhicitta and engage bodhicitta. In the lineage of Shantideva, so there's two lineage in bodhicitta ceremony. The Shantideva lineage, which comes from the Nagarjuna, that is founded by Manjushri. And in his tradition, aspiration bodhicitta is just like wish to go. Like for example, I wish to go to Lhasa, for example. That is just having wish and making preparation, having wish, and which is originated with the Arya Manju. Aspirations is like to go. The contemplations on the desire to achieve complete Buddhahood. And then the action bodhicitta is like actual going, taking action to accomplish that goal. So first is having wish to go to Lhasa for holiday, and second is like really preparing, making plans and booking reservations and visas and all, flight tickets and all, and then actually traveling on that particular day. So one is wish to go, and another is really applying, really going, the act of really going. This is according to Shantideva tradition. And then the Dharmakirti tradition, which comes from the Asanga, which is founded by Maitreya. In this tradition, The aspiration bodhicitta is like aspirations to the commitment to achieve the fruition. So aspiration is to commitment to the achieve fruition, that is Buddhahood. And the action bodhicitta is commitment to the cause for that result. So what, praying for result and praying for cause, so to speak. So in this tradition, aspiration bodhicitta is praying for the result, Buddhahood, and action bodhicitta is praying for the cause for that result, applying the cause for that result. Okay. Now the fourth topic is objectives of bodhicitta. What are the objectives of bodhicitta? It's very clear here. The objective of bodhicitta are to achieve enlightenment and to benefit sentient beings. That's it. Very clear cut. Is attain enlightenment for the benefit of sentient beings. So you have two objectives here. Attain objective of attain enlightenment. What does that mean? Means searching for the primordial wisdom of great vehicle. And objective of sentient beings doesn't mean only one sentient being, two, or your part of sentient being, or your sentient beings of your own country. No, whole mother sentient beings. Remember all mother sentient beings that we talk about in the cultivations of loving kindness and compassion. Yes, all mother sentient beings, for the benefit of all the mother sentient beings without exception. Then the fifth point or the topic is the cause. What is the cause of your bodhicitta? What can cause you cultivate bodhicitta? What makes you cultivate bodhicitta? What inspires you to cultivate bodhicitta? So the cause, there are 4 causes here according to GAMPOPA. And the 10, there's a quote from 10 dharmas. That mind is cultivated through 4 causes. What are those causes? Seeing the beneficial effect of bodhicitta. First cause is, someone who really, sees the beneficial effects of bodhicitta, who really admires the quality of bodhicitta, who can really keep high esteems of bodhicitta in their mind, who can hold, high esteems of bodhicitta, high value of bodhicitta. So if you have that kind of motivation, then you'll be ready, to give rise to bodhicitta. So that's why this is one cause. It causes you to cultivate bodhicitta. Second type is seeing the developing devotions to the 3 jewels by knowing the qualities of 3 jewels, kind and compassion nature of 3 jewels. Then you have this faith and devotion, and because of that, also causes us to cultivate bodhicitta. Then seeing the suffering of all sentient beings. Obviously, this is also one of the main cause. By seeing the suffering of sentient beings, especially the beings that were visible to us, human beings and animal beings, and especially nowadays, lots of suffering. Every time there's new suffering, and by seeing this nature of suffering, you really want to free yourself from this suffering of samsara. And also by taking that as an example, you want to see all sentient beings, all other mother sentient beings, free them from the suffering of samsara. So this kind of thing, which also motivate us towards cultivation of bodhicitta vows, receiving bodhicitta vows. Then finally, the inspirations of your spiritual master or spiritual friends, or if someone who are with you who has been practicing bodhicitta, who has kept bodhicitta vows, and their nature of act, their way of speaking, their way of thinking, their way of walking, moving, all are very gentle, and whatever speech they share, conversation that they make, they will always talk about the good cause of benefiting other beings, how to remove their sufferings, all this, selflessness attitude of speech. Then selflessness nature of thought. Whatever they are thinking, they are always thinking for the benefit of others. So this kind of thing, if you have this kind of spiritual masters around you, or if you have this kind of spiritual friends around you, that will motivate you, to give rise to bodhicitta, cultivate bodhicitta. You also want to be like him or her, because their nature of act is so pleasant, is so harmonious, is so generous. So you also want to be like them. So this is how it motivates us. So therefore, these are the 4 different causes of cultivating bodhicitta. Okay, that's the 5th point. And this cause Then you may ask, what causes us to give rise to aspiration bodhicitta or relative bodhicitta? What causes us to actualize ultimate bodhicitta? So the first one, cultivations of bodhicitta, which is conducted by others. So relative bodhicitta is actually caused by others, conducted by others, because you need to go and see the spiritual master, or you at least need, just we spoke about, we at least need to see the attitude of other beings who have already practiced bodhicitta, who have already given bodhicitta vows, which inspires us. Or you heard about bodhicitta, the value of bodhicitta, how important it is. You really held a kind of deep esteem of bodhicitta in your heart. You really respect bodhicitta. And then you may also have this seen the suffering of others, so really you want to give rise to bodhicitta. So it always depends on others. So because of suffering of sentient being, you want to cultivate bodhicitta because you want to clear their suffering. Because of inspirations of your friends and spiritual master, you want to generate bodhicitta, isn't it? And because of seeing the beneficial effects of bodhicitta, you want to actualize bodhicitta. So the relative bodhicitta always comes from external phenomena. But whereas ultimate bodhicitta has to come within yourself by studying the text, by contemplating, by meditating, and slowly you'll be able to know the true nature of phenomena, emptiness nature of phenomena. So these are the two differences, slightly different. So first one, the cultivations of bodhicitta, which is conducted by others, refers to the mind that is cultivated through others' revelation, and that is obtained through the proper ceremony. Okay, so there are different means. By power of friends, by power of cause, by power of root virtue, by power of tendency, and by power of hearing. So these are the 5 different powers that cause us to give rise to relative bodhicitta. The power of friends means that cultivate mind through the advice of our spiritual master, because your spiritual master said so, that you should give rise to bodhicitta vow because of this reason, because of these qualities, because of its beneficial effects, and so on and so forth. Then slowly, next step is by power of cause, means that it develops through the power of having some kind of senses, some kind of concern for others' well-being, concerns for others to see free from suffering of samsara. This is Mahayana family. Then third is power of root virtue. That means developed by strengthening the family. That is not only seeing, but also applying the good causes and avoiding the non-virtuous act and implementing the virtuous act. So this is how you strengthen the family of Mahayana. And power of hearing means that when you hear different teachings, this will also develop bodhicitta, different types of Mahayana teachings, emptiness teachings, Mahayana teachings, importance of loving kindness and compassion. Whenever you hear these spiritual teachings, it will also develop your bodhicitta. Then by the power of virtuous tendency means that in this life, you can develop bodhicitta by persistently hearing, holding, practicing, and so forth. So these are the way and how we can generate relative bodhicitta. On the other hand, the cause of the birth of ultimate bodhicitta is through practicing the Dhamma and actualizing the true nature of phenomena, the realizations of ultimate nature. In other words, ultimate bodhicitta is achieved by reading scriptures, hearing, contemplating, practice, and realization finally. So it starts from hearing the Dhamma, especially the emptiness nature of Dhamma, Prajnaparamita Sutras, then slowly practicing them, then slowly actualizing its nature as it was described as in the text. So this is how you actualize your ultimate bodhicitta. Okay, now next topic is the 6th topic, from whom you receive this, the relative bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta, you have to realize yourself, right? No one can show you the ultimate bodhicitta. They can talk about it, they can make some description about it, they can give you the instructions of understanding level, but actualizing, realizing of the ultimate nature is, it should be you. But the relative bodhicitta you can receive from spiritual master, someone else. So here, from whom you receive it, from what object does one obtains bodhicitta? And there he says, GAMPOPA says, there are two systems, one with spiritual master and one without spiritual master. So if the spiritual masters are accessible to attend by knowing their quality, you know, obviously spiritual master have some kind of quality. He has this authority and ability to give you a relative bodhicitta vow. But sometimes, even though there's a spiritual master, they are accessible too, but then if there's dangers of life, or if the roads are blocked or something, the things like curfews are taking place or disasters or things are happening, then you can, even though there's a spiritual master you can talk to, but because of this, to avoid these different circumstances, you can visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, and then really recite those ceremonial prayers, and then you'll be able to attend or gain or receive Bodhisattva vows. So there are two types, with spiritual master or without spiritual master. So what is the first one? If there is no danger of one's life and precepts, one should go to meet the spiritual master, even though it may be very far, in order to take Bodhisattva vows. The qualifications of master is very important. It's like skill in conducting vow ceremony. The spiritual master needs to know how to conduct the ceremony. Second is having received the vow, him or herself, and kept well. So the one who is giving you this Bodhisattva vow, he or she must have received and kept the Bodhisattva vows. That's very important. And third quality is having the ability to display physical gesture and speak. That means that that individual who is going to give you, or from whom you are going to receive Bodhisattva vows, he or she must have, are in good condition of body, can speak, can can display physical gestures, tell you when to stand up, when to do prostrations, when to think. You can also, these are very important, that you are aware of this thing. Then training disciplines with compassion. Then the spiritual master from whom you are going to receive these Bodhisattva vows should have, kind of compassion towards sentient beings. Otherwise, you cannot receive, because they should, since they are applying and keeping Bodhisattva vows, they must and they should. And finally, not being interested in wealth. That spiritual master should be very genuine spiritual master who have a genuine wish to benefit other beings, not to the wealth and the money of students or name or fame, just pure genuine motivations of benefiting others. So if you have this kind of 5 different qualities, that is the spiritual master from whom you can receive Bodhisattva vows. If there is very danger of going to that spiritual masters, because of the roadblock, or because there's the dangers of wildlife and so forth, then you can receive these aspirations and action bodhicitta vows by reciting the liturgy of either aspirations or actual bodhicitta 3 times from the bottom of one's heart. So this is how you can receive Bodhisattva vows. If one can find neither a spiritual master nor an image of the Buddha, then one should clearly visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in space and recite the aspirations and action bodhicitta ceremony 3 times and receive in this way. So this is the most easiest way to receive bodhicitta vows. So we'll keep here for today, and we'll try to understand more about the ceremony, how one can take or receive Bodhisattva vows tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much for listening, and stay safe. See you tomorrow. Let's dedicate our merit for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sonam de tamje segba nye domne nye be danam pamje ne ge ga na je balaw to bai Si bien so len do wan do warai sho.
Okay, we do meditation and recite the mantras, then aspiration prayers. Therefore, first we do is taking refuge and generate bodhicitta. Therefore, you visualize that in front of you that you're a guru and surrounded by Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Lama, youth and protectors. With your great devotion and faith to take refuge and generate bodhicitta. Now we meditate. Meditate on the giving and taking meditation. And this meditation helps us to progress our loving kindness and compassion towards our sentient beings. Therefore, you visualize that all the mother sentient beings are in front of you. So imagine they are really physically and mentally, they are all suffering. And this meditation apply with your breathing. We breathe in. That time you imagine that we're taking all that their suffering and the cause of suffering. When we breathe out, that time you are visualizing that we're giving our happiness and the cause of happiness, giving to them. When we breathe out and breathe in, that time you don't make any long and short breathing. Breathe just normal breathing. When you breathe in, now you visualize that we're breathing in time. Those mother sentient beings, they are suffering and the cause of sufferings. The cause of suffering is three poisons: ignorance, attachments, angers. They are the three poisons that are the cause of the sufferings. They visualize their causes, their suffering and the cause of suffering come out from their body, form of black smoke. When you breathe in, and all the small black smoke in together, they go into your body. They inside your heart, there are fire. Fire will burn off all the black smoke. Then they are just vanish. Imagine that all the sentient beings are free from the suffering and the cause of sufferings. When you breathe out, that then you visualize that from your body that your happiness and the cause of happiness or the virtues come out with your breathing, form of white smoke, and dissolve into them. Imagine they are receive the happiness and the cause of happiness. Imagine they are forever stay with happiness and the cause of happiness. We meditate this for 5 minutes. Now we recite the mantra. The first mantra is the Avalokiteshvara's mantra. Therefore, you visualize that yourself, your body, your speech, mind are transformed into our forearm Avalokiteshvara. Meaning that your body is Avalokiteshvara's form. Your speech is a Omani Peme Hum mantra. Your thoughts is a wisdom of Avalokiteshvara. To yourself, Avalokiteshvara, the eye is looking with your love and compassion and looking toward to the all sentient beings. And give love and compassion to them. And with this visualization, we recite the mantra. Om mani padme hum, 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 Om mani padme hum. Mantra recite 108 times. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, 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 That is like the long life Dharani. Therefore, you visualize that Buddha Amitayu above your head. That Buddha Amitayu is Sambhogakaya form of Buddha Amitabha. Now from your heart, that radiate light, this light go up and dissolve into the Buddha Amitayu's heart. That requests Buddha Amitayu to give us the purification and give us the blessing for the longevities. Then through his compassion and love, the radiate light from his body, this light will go over the place. Then this light will collect all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, body, speech, mind blessings, and energy of universe, and the essence of the elements collect and dissolve into his holding long life vase. They go into the long life vase. Then those energy are all transformed into the nectar. This nectar overflow from the vase, come onto your crown and go into your body, and purify all the obscuration, especially obstacle for the long life. Then fill up your body. Imagine that you receive the blessings of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and the energy of the universe and essence of elements. Then you have become very energetic and radiating light from your body. Your body is full of energy. With this visualization, we recite mantra. This mantra is seven times. Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurveda Subhine Zedate Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyada Ambone Bone Mahabone Aparimita Bone Aparimita Bone Jana Sambaro Bhajite Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dhamade Gangana Samungade Subhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurveda Subhine Citate Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Ambune Bune Mahabone Aparimita Bune Aparimita Bune Jnana Sambaro Bhajite Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dhamate Gagana Samungate Subhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurveda Subhine Citate Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Ambune Bune Mahabune Aparimita Bune Aparimita Bune Jnana Sambaro Bhajite Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dhamate Gagana sarava samkara parishuddha dharamadi gangana samunga sobhava vishuddhi mahanaya parivariso. Now, Medicine Buddha's some long mantra and short mantra. We recite 7 times each. Therefore, you visualize that from your heart radiate light. This light goes to the Medicine Buddha's pure light. Then the light dissolves into Medicine Buddha's heart. The request Medicine Buddha to give us purification and the blessings. That through his love and compassion, he remembered that he made 12 great aspirations. Through the power of aspiration, the nectar flow from his begging bowl. Nectar come and the crown, your crown, and dissolve go into your body and all the other beings. To purify all the sickness and the cause of the sickness. Then fill up your body. Imagine that you receive blessings from the Medicine Buddhas. Purify all the sickness and cause of sickness. They imagine they free from the sickness and the cause of the sickness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vedante Guru Vendroya Prabharasaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bekante Bekante Maha Bekante Raja Samangate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekante Vendroya Prabharasaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bekante Bekante Maha Bekante Raja Samangate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Visualize the Padma Shavari deity in front of you. The nectar flow from her body. Nectar going into your body and purify all the aspirations, all the sickness, cause of sickness, and all the negative energy are all purified. Om Pishati Pranashavari Savantora Prashamani Sova Om Pishati Pranashavari Saravatora Prashamani Sova Om Pishati Pranashavari Saravatora Prashamani Om Pishati Pranashavari Sarvadara 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 Prashamani Now visualize the Dorje Namparjama in front of you. That nectar flow from his body, go into your body and purify all the obscurations or the sickness, and the cause of the sickness, especially the negative energy, all are purified. Nama Tenda Benza Krodaya Holo Holo Dita Dita Benda Benda Hana Hana Ami De Wambe Nama Tenda Benza Krodaya Holo Holo Dista Dista Benda Benda Hana Hana visualize that tall Wesak deity in front of you. This nectar flow from his body going to your body that purify all your obscurations, all the sickness and the cause of sickness, all the negative energies are all purified. Om Bro Kum Maha Pramanaye Purti Purgi Bimale Ozo Makroda Umbe Om Bro Kum Maha Pramanaye Purti Purgi Bimale Ozo Makroda Umbe Om Bro Kum Maha Pramanaye Now visualize in front of you the sky, 8 medicine Buddhas, and 16 Bodhisattvas, and surrounded by countless of medicine deities. That with your faith, that devotion, it requires to them to give us the purification and the blessings. Recite mantra 108 times. Rosa samangate so semje ne ba jinye ba nyoto ne le ta jure jwe ne ne ma le ba ta to juwa me pra when we recite this aspiration prayers, that time you must think of the meaning of the prayers. Jede kan so jo warara ma juru ji je tar she me che be se ja ji ke je la le se me de be so ne ge tu nga ji ba ji de kan so jo wa ma ju ji ji da shi ji ka na ji ba da Nege me zaman te pe da je pe nian je bai da dai pe ren so ge le je kun la ne para ma ju ji ne be ge re ton zai ji ju dang lo bro ye zhu song jia zhu ju dang xi jia zai xi ne lai so ba ye 绿金君来采哇啦啦嘛就金，绿森的哇嘛绿着几杯，中些着杯多俺来接你吧。 马来西亚当代的巴当，切连内面的基的巴拉哟，拉玛关就送给多个阶段。 看着群众送面女途当，连的罗瓦没别的东西，我瓦门拉满大这住哦巴拉的手。 雁马后，我在山间那。 tu ji GAMPO dang yin do sen ba tu ji tu nong la san ji zhang sen ba mi tu ji tu de ji wang sra ba tu mi ba ye de wa jin ji ja wei xin gang de da ni de ne se be zhe ma da ge wa xin ge ba ma zhe ba ro de ro je ne na de she dong zoi de ge da ge me la da ba de 说就三界江山当界给，给面都把金给拉走走，给呀当本子了的呀，万不得那一首啊，就的这话。 谁知公错年做了几让，他给地上给啥把公就送了几把，家来等把白家给给万圣节跟了我，若跟三节都就是节。 也在当街街的，大仙觉来明觉节节年大年早早的，财人年面样都白，财的啥就能就的。 nam se se phe jro ma ta de wa jin do ji jro ji ji ne pe me kha ji de le den de la san de jo jang jo wa to ne ji se do do be do wa ten bra sho. Now do dedication. We dedicate this practice meditation and reciting mantras, aspiration by this merits all sentient beings free from the suffering and obtain enlightenment. Sanan de ye ta je se ba ni ta ne ye pe da na ba ji ke ga na je ba la to si be so le do wa aran shu. Thank you.